so amazing. Since the chat feature doesn't seem to be really working right now, if you guys want, maybe you could write in. Oh, Autumn Bro! My friend Autumn just said she loves me. I love Autumn. She actually is an amazing songwriter and a DJ and singer. She can do it all, one of those people. And she wrote, oh gosh, Christmas Come On. We wrote Christmas Come On together. So anyways, I love Autumn. But yeah, do you guys want to maybe just write in what your favorite music video was? Or if you have a question about a particular music video, just write in the comments. Since we're having a hard time adding the chat. I might try to add a chat one more time. But yeah, if you guys want to just throw out a music video name, and then I will tell you a story about that music video. If I can, we can try that. But let me, while I'm waiting for those to come in, I might try. Oh, someone had a question about Prism. I do have a fun story about Prism. Prism was a music video. I got the idea to do that when I was actually in Korea, South Korea. And I saw all these K-pop groups, and I was really exposed to like full-on K-pop for the first time. And I thought it was fascinating. And so I wanted to do a music video where I was like a violin group, the same way there's like K-pop groups. And so that's why the background kind of has that like, you know, night city. Like I was trying to find something that felt like, you know, a Seoul Korea vibe. And then the fun thing about it was that I played all the characters. So it was really hard to learn all that choreography because in the video, I'm playing all of the different dancers and there's different formation changes. And they like these two moved on one beat, these two moved on another beat, and they're all playing different violin parts. So you better believe I practiced for like hours and hours and hours a day trying to learn the choreography so that I knew that dancer 1 moved on 1, dancer 2 moved on the 1, and dancer 3 moved on the 2. Like, you know, and I had the different formation changes for each girl. So basically I had to learn very similar choreography, but different choreography. And it was a very short shoot day, and I finally got the camera running and working. I had like 2 hours to film dance choreography for 5 girls in 5 different looks. So I had to change wigs. And anyways, it was very stressful. And then when the video came out, most people didn't realize that I was all 5 dancers. And I was like, are you kidding me? All of that work, so much work, and no one even realized. Like one of my best friends hit me up like a year later and was like, by the way, I just saw your Prism video pop up and I realized a year later that you're all 5. It's like my best friend didn't even notice. So I thought that was really funny. I wonder as I wander. Oh, I do have a great story for that. So the reason that video was shot on a glacier in Alaska, and it was, I was on tour, and it was during the Evanescence co-headline tour. We booked one show in Alaska, and so basically on a day off, me, my band, and my tour manager, basically like a tiny crew, we flew to Alaska for one day, and then we flew back to tour. So I landed in Alaska, and I went straight from the airport to those mud flats. I changed in the car. My friend Graham Fielder picked me up from the airport. I changed in the car, and then we had to hike 1.5 miles to get to where we were before we went, because I didn't want to carry that big headdress and the big huge dress 1.5 miles. So I decided it would be best. So I was walking down a trail and we're passing hikers, and I'm in that big black headdress and that big huge black dress just walking. So that was funny. Then the performance was the next afternoon, and right after I got off stage from the performance in Alaska, I immediately jumped into a van, like right off stage, jumped into a van. We drove to a helicopter lift, got in a helicopter. They flew me onto the glacier, shot on the glacier, and then, by the way, freezing. I was in like a, you know, a flowy dress. I was originally going to dance all over the glacier, but I was too cold. So I ended up just standing there. I ended up looking great. Like, I love how the video turned out, but again, super scary, because then they flew me straight from the glacier to pretty much to a car that took me to the airport. So it was like boom, boom, boom in a day, filmed on 2 locations and did a show, and then went straight to the airport, passed out, did a show the next night. It was a lot. it was a lot, to say the least. But anyways, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Okay. Other comments. What other ones are you curious about? How much is Excalibur worth, and where did you get her? Excalibur is my main violin. I bought her from a violin shop here in Los Angeles years ago, and I invested like all my savings into it because at the time I was a college student, and my parents also helped me buy it. They paid for half of it because I couldn't afford it. It was $10,000. Let's see. Someone has a question about, keep writing in your questions. Hello from Peru. Yeah, are there any other videos? Oh, I see Jessica Brislow. Hello, Jessica. Moon Trance. Oh, I have such fond memories of Moon Trance. This again was, I believe, a day off on tour. We had a day off in Utah. I had a lot of friends in Utah because that's where I went to college. So one of my film friends, he was the director of that music video. And I always kind of, when I wrote that song, I just saw Thriller in my head. So as you can see, it's a very much homage to Michael Jackson's Thriller. It takes place in a graveyard. But I remember it doesn't look cold because there's no snow. It was freezing, and I just remember me and and it was so nice. Again, this is back in the day when I just didn't have any money. I was like paying for my buses on tour. I was like trying to make my career work, and so it was the day where I had to pull a lot of favors. And so I found some high school students that were willing to be in my music video in trade for tickets to my show. And so all those dancers in that video were so sweet. They were high school kids that did it in trade for tickets. And they absolutely killed it. They stayed up all night. We shot all through the night. And I remember they had school the next morning, but they got permission from their parents to stay out all night. And I remember those prosthetics to make Gavi. It was Gavi and Drew that were the zombies in it. They were my band, and they were the initial zombies. Yeah, I remember them. I laughed so hard when they were trying to peel those prosthetics off their face. It was really funny. But yeah, then the next day we headed off to the next city for the next show of tour. Have I ever hurt my violin shooting videos? I have a stunt violin that I use for things like elements when it was raining, or even sleepwalking at parts when it was raining and sleepwalking. So I have certain violins that I use or even if I know that I'm going to be on cliffs and stuff. I remember when I filmed the Dragon Age music video, actually I take it back, Moon Trance was not the coldest. It was probably the second coldest music video I've ever done. We were freezing, but the coldest one I've ever done was Dragon Age. We were in Norway again on tour. I like to use touring to film these epic music videos sometimes because it's I could film in Alaska on a glacier because I had a show there, and it made it so I could afford to film on those locations instead of flying a whole crew out to a place. It was the same with when I was in Norway. It's okay, I'm here. Let's film something on this beautiful mountain. So we went up to the top of this mountain in where was it? I don't even, anyways, it was part of Norway, but we went to the top of this mountain, and I have never been so cold in my life. And I remember I had these thin long sleeves on, but everybody else was wearing coats, and they were wearing so much scarves and hats and everything that only their eyes were showing. That's the kind of cold we were in. And yet I had to be out there with bare neck, bare face, hands. We could only do 30-second takes before my hands would start to freeze and I would drop the bow. So we filmed that whole video in one. Let's go. So we filmed when it snowed. So that was filmed over the course of months. Chris. what, it cost me like $35 to film that music video. Because I reached out to the guy that made those ice castles. He was making them for this resort. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, I'll do a video and I'll post about your ice castles if you, fly me out. So he paid for me and Devin to go out there. And then we went to the ice castles and we shot it. And so all in, it cost me like nothing because Devin shot it, I edited it, and the people let me use the location for free. But coldest music video I've ever shot, but it was pretty cold. Love's Just a Feeling. Love's Just a Feeling. That one's like a very sweet, special, like, I just love the story of that video. It was something that I felt very connected to personally, just after going through loss multiple times and knowing what it felt like to lose love, in different ways. That video is all about loss and about how sometimes we close up after we experience loss. And it's like this woman whose husband died. She basically puts herself in a time capsule, a time capsule, and she freezes herself kind of, and then she comes out into this new chapter of the world in the future, and she can't face it again, so she freezes herself again, and then she comes out and she wonders if it's too late. Now it's like the world has gone through an apocalypse, but then at the end she has one more chance to find love and blah. But I just related to that so much about how it's really easy after we've been hurt to just close up and not want to let anything hurt us ever again. But that was also cool because it's the first music video that I directed all by myself. I've always had, to be honest, I've co-directed all my music videos because I always come up with the ideas, I always edit them, and so on set I know exactly what I want. So I'm very, very involved in the directing, but that was the first music video that I directed solely by myself. I was really nervous, but I'm so proud of it. It's a beautiful video. Okay, Phantom of the Opera. Someone's saying they found me by following Devin. That's so fun. Yeah, shout out to Devin Supertramp. He's awesome. Phantom of the Opera. Okay, so again, that video so when I first started, I guess I should say, I just had to pull a lot of favors in order to make my music videos. And I was determined. I remember that video was filmed in a lot of different locations. It had a lot of different costumes. And, I got the costumes because I told the woman making them that, if she made them, I would post about them and then she could sell them. And so, opportunity to sell them afterwards, and then got the right lady on the phone, and then she let me film there for free. What else? The velour. Shout out to Corey Fox. He let me use the velour for a crazy low rate because he's awesome. And so it's all these locations, and to record the song, I gave the producer a favor. I said I'd play violin on some of his tracks in order to get a good recording done from him. So you don't have to have $1 million in order to make something special. I think now I pay a lot of money for my music videos because I feel like that's right. I'm not going to constantly call in favors when I can afford to make music videos and pay people well for their services and their skills. But back in the day, I didn't have that money. And so if I felt like I could pull favors, you better believe I would pull all kinds of favors so that I could make art that I loved. Anyways, so Phantom of the Opera was a masterful piece because I produced it, I edited it, and directed it, and it was fully done through favors. I saw another one. What other ones? Okay. I saw someone ask about the arena. That was so fun because, I met Derek Hough at a Tony Robbins event. Yes, I was sitting next to him or a few rows away from him, and I was like, hey, I love your dancing. And he's like, I like your violin. And anyways, we got to talking at the event, and he's like, you know what? Here's my number. If you ever want to collaborate, let me know. And I looked him in the eye and I said, I'm going to take you up on that sooner than you think. And literally like 2 months later, I'm like, I had thought of the perfect idea. And I've always loved ballroom dancing. I've always loved all kinds of dancing, but ballroom is just so beautiful to me. So I was so excited. It was the first time I'd ever done any sort of partner dancing before. And Derek is a master. And that was the first time we worked together, was on the arena music video. We shot it out in the middle of nowhere. Derek was a great sport, and it really started, I guess it created not only a really cool video that's one of my, it's up there, it's one of my favorites, but also it created a friendship. I just respect Derek so much, and I'm so glad that through the years we've gotten to collaborate. Like, I can't even count how many times, whether it's live performances, recordings, dancing, you name it. And I'm so grateful for his friendship, and it kind of gave me the courage to go on Dancing with the Stars, which was one of the coolest things I've ever done. So blah blah blah. I saw their Mission Impossible. Okay, so I have to say, one of my favorite groups I've ever collaborated with is the Piano Guys. They are the nicest, funniest, goofiest, nerdiest, and I mean all these things with the most. And that was a much overdue collab. I need to collaborate with them again. Maybe I want to convince them to do a Harry Potter medley with me. Wouldn't that be amazing? And they had a friend that had and so I kid you not, we filmed a lot of that video in a car dealership. And then the part where I'm like being rappelled down above the piano, you would think that we had a grip crew, and like people that were like making sure I was safe. No. You better believe we went to a rock climbing place and we bought a harness for me. We tied it to a forklift that was on a forklift, just like, and the rope was over a beam, and I was just being lowered down as he went up, praying that I didn't fall. Praying that the beam above me held me. So like, okay, by the way, I do not recommend any of this dangerous stuff, but I do recommend make it work. Like, if you have something that you're excited about, the Piano Guys, myself, we're perfect examples of figuring it out and just doing it. You have an idea, you have to alter your ideas a lot, but just, anyways. I saw another fun one I wanted to talk about. What was it? Someone said shadows. Oh, shadows. Okay. People wondered how I shot the shadows video, and it was so simple. We set up lights. I went to a friend's warehouse. They had this t-shirt company, and they're friends of mine from BYU. I went to their warehouse in the middle of the night when they wouldn't be using it. Again, it was freezing cold in that video because it was in this warehouse with no heater in the middle of winter. So many of my early videos, I was freezing. I'm just going to say that because I was in Utah. Skyrim, Zelda, Crystallize, Assassin's Creed, Shadows, like freezing in so many. Anyways, so for the Shadows music video, we just had the camera on a tripod for most of almost the whole shoot. And what I did was I just learned 2 separate dances, and I practiced them a ton because I didn't want to just be on set messing up. So I practiced so much so that I could just nail it once I got to set. And so I learned the Shadows choreography, and then I learned the Lzzy choreography. And the thing is, about 50% of the time, the Shadow and myself were doing the same movement. So I had to learn the choreography and be so spot on, because at the beginning of the video, I didn't want you to know that the Shadow and me were separate. I wanted you to think for the first 20 seconds of the video that this was just a regular video, so that you'd be surprised when suddenly the Shadow. So I had to learn the choreography so perfectly. But yeah, we basically just set up a light to make sure it made a perfect shadow. And then in the same exact spot, I shot the violin, or the real version and the shadow version. And then I just rotoscoped. And I did the rotoscoping myself, actually, around myself to cut the frame in half. So that, anyways. Let's see what else you want to know. Can I speak Spanish? No, I wish I could. I should use this time right now to learn like German, French, Spanish. Because I always feel so bummed when I'm there and I can't fully talk to you. Let's see. Any other ones you guys have questions on? Let's see. Someone's saying, "Oh, have you? You know, people are busy though." But I'm a big Alan Walker fan. He inspired sleepwalking. Like his style of music inspired sleepwalking. Stampede, someone's asking about. That was so fun. Oh, and Shatter Me, I'll talk about that in a second. Stampede was just so fun because, like, I mean, Mark Ballas became my best friend through Dancing with the Stars, and I love working with him, and so it was so fun to then get back, you know, the gang's back together and not only dance together, but, you know, me, him, his wife, we wrote that song together, and it just was such a unique video to like. And I remember it was funny because there's one part where Mark is dancing with his guitar, and it was pretty simple choreography, you know, at that point because I mean, Mark is always like challenging me and I'm trying to keep up with his dancing, but for once when he had to try to dance and play the guitar, he's like, "How do you do this? I can't." And I was like, "Yes, now you are in my arena. The student becomes the teacher." Stampede is actually, I forgot about this. We filmed that video twice. Yes, you will never see the first version. We drove like an hour and a half to get to this location, and the shoot just went terribly, and we didn't get nearly what we wanted. And everything that we got looked terrible. So we scrapped the whole thing, and we decided, let's give it one more try. And sometimes, like, that's what you gotta do. Like, it would have been really easy to, like, say that didn't work and, like, I'm over it. Because that was a really exhausting, long day. It was like a 15-hour day. We're going to try again. And I'm so glad we did because I love that video. Shatter Me, I think it's up there. It's I think it's my most, like, one of my favorite videos because it told a story so perfectly that was really, really close to my heart. It basically told story of me breaking free from Anna's to me about how I felt like I was trapped. But I didn't even know it for a really long time. Just like that ballerina, she's playing in that snow globe and she doesn't even realize that she's a prisoner. She feels like the snow globe is protecting her. But she starts to see signs that, like, the snow globe is giving her an altered view of reality. Like the part where she sees this bat outside, but then she looks closer and realizes it's a butterfly. And she realizes that the snow globe is lying about the outside world. And so she starts to try to break free. And not only does she have to break free from this snow globe, she realizes the only way she can truly break free is if she breaks the actual shell that she has let grow around herself, and her true self was underneath. Whew, I don't know. I just love that that concept. It resonated with me so much. It inspired the whole Shatter Me album. It was so cool working with Lzzy Hale. By the way, I'm going to do a live stream with Lzzy, I think, on Friday. So you can tune in and watch Lzzy and I chat about good old times. But Lzzy Hale is seriously one of the coolest people. I've collaborated with a lot of artists at this point, and she's probably one of the most chill. Like, you know, a lot of times, you know, we artists, we have a brand we have to keep. We have our way of doing things, and, you know, people can get very, like, protective of that, and I understand why. But Lzzy walked up, and she's normally wearing, like, you know, studded leather and, like, 4-inch, 6-inch heels, you know, but she was like, no, if you want me to wear a steampunk pair of overalls and goggles, sure. Like, she was just so chill, and I just respect her so much for her ability to be, like, just awesome and chill. And oh wow, someone says it helped them break Lyme disease. That's amazing. I know that can be so hard. Okay, someone keeps Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Is there a story behind the ring you are wearing? Yes. This ring, let's see, can you, oh, it's not. It says CTR. That's actually a Mormon thing. It stands for choose the right. It's kind of like the Mormon version of what would Jesus do? And so it's just a reminder to like make choices that are good and make choices that will be kind. Like that's what it reminds me. Make choices that are kind. And anyways, from the time I was a little kid in primary, we were always taught to like just choose the right. So that's what my ring reminds me of. Someone was asking about Lost Girls. Again, this kind of was the follow-up to the Shatter Me story, and I think this is one of the most beautiful videos I've ever shot, and I've shot it in Griffith Park. It's supposed to represent relapse. You know, because I thought about the whole Shatter Me story. This ballerina, she's stuck, you know, she's trapped, and then she breaks free, and she's in this whole brand new world, and, you know, it ends with like, okay, I'm in a new world, but then it's like, well, what next? That's just the beginning. And from experience of going through recovery of anorexia and depression, it's a journey after that. It's a journey of maintenance. And so this was supposed to kind of show like the process of her almost basically relapsing. She almost goes back into the snow globe because she realizes that this life is scary. It's hard. I've been rejected. I've been hurt. I'm dirty. And then this evil witch comes and finds her and offers her the opportunity to go back into the snow globe. And she almost chooses it, and then she remembers her past. She remembers what it was like being stuck in the snow globe, and she decides, like, I will never go back. And I have faced that many times when I start to feel like my little anorexia start to be like, hey, remember how comforting it was? Remember how safe you felt? It, like, tries to sometimes trick me back. And at this point, like, the answer is, like, it's an automatic no. But several years ago, you know, when I first was going through recovery, it was very tempting to be like, yeah, it did feel kind of safe in there. But then I remember what it was like and how trapped I felt. It's like, I will never go back. So anyways, that was supposed to represent relapse, and the ballerina chooses. Let me see if I can think of any fun stories from that set. I remember filming the dancing part over and over again with me and the two like evil elves, and it was so funny because they had these awesome long nails, but every take all the nails would pop off, and so we were like literally looking in the grass between every take and re-sticking on their nails. It was kind of funny. And also the place where we filmed that dance scene was like the coolest place to film it in the area. There wasn't a lot of like good visuals, like you can see a house over there or this, so that was a good angle, but we were dancing on a slope. So you better believe it was really hard to edit because we were all like falling over the whole time. And same with like the Between Twilight music video. Anytime I shoot these videos that are like in the woods, it's really hard to find a location where you can dance and you can feel sure-footed. And luckily for Till the Light Goes Out, we did find a really flat space, but still it's really different ballroom dancing on a beautiful wooden floor versus like, you know, feeling loose dirt and pebbles and sticks under your feet as you're trying to like keep your balance. So it's always a challenge, that space. So that's always a challenge when I film, because I love filming in the woods. You guys know me. That's my happy place. Let's see. Okay, I'll just chat a little bit more. By the way, okay, someone really wants to know about Senbo Zankura, which is a Japanese song that I covered. It's a crazy little song. It's super fast, and it was really fun. I did that specifically for my Japanese fans because I love Japanese style of art. I always have. I mean, I love anime. My whole comic book is based on anime art, and you know, I love Japanese style. I love K-pop. So like Asian inspiration has been big for me. And so I wanted to do a tribute to that. So I did Senbo Zankura. We filmed it all on a green screen. And then I just had this guy like basically paint backgrounds for me. Kind of, I wanted it to feel like I was on a China pot. When is the Till the Lights Go Out premiere? Okay. I'm so excited about this one. Till the Lights Go. Till the Light Goes Out. Can't even say the title of my song. Music videos, because you save some money, and I'll save every penny I can. They're expensive. But yeah, which it's not easy though. It's really stressful to do 2 shoots in a row because it's just exhausting. And you know, in that case, I had 2 full videos of choreography that I'd like practiced so hard. Like pounded into my head, and but they couldn't. We originally had the 30th of this month, but I just was on a call with the the team doing the special effects, and I think we're gonna have to push it back, but it'll be soon. So it'll be within the next few weeks, probably the beginning to mid of August. So I'm excited for you to see that. How about Master of Tides? Okay, I'll just answer a few more and then I'll let you guys go. I can't believe that you guys are still hanging out with me. So Master of Tides, that one, that was shot at the Americana Mall, and we really did do it as like spontaneous performances. What we did is we rehearsed it, first in a rehearsal space, and then we would go to the Americana. We had one day where we actually got to practice in the fountain, because what they did was they built a stage like an inch below the water line in the fountain, so you couldn't see it, but then when we step into the fountain, people were like, what? And we would dance on the top of the water. So it was pretty spectacular. But again, it's very different dancing in a studio versus dancing on a stage under an inch of water. It was very slippery. So we woke up super early one day. We went and practiced there before the mall opened, because we really didn't want anyone to know this is coming. And then what we did that night was we got ready, and then we would come out, and everybody's like got layers of clothing on so that we could have it be a true flash mob. And we performed it 3 times, but each performance was an hour apart so that it'd be a fresh crowd of people each time. So yeah, it was really fun. I'm gonna try, now that we're here at the end, I'm just gonna try to like add somebody in again. We'll see if this will work now, because it wasn't really working earlier. It's connecting. Just thinking about it. Oh, there you are. Hi, I couldn't hear you earlier.
Oh my God, thank you for giving me another chance.
Yeah, I saw your messages. I was like, oh, we'll try one more time.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh dang it, it's freezing up again. I'm so sorry. It might be my Wi-Fi. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, but here, let's take a selfie real quick together, if you want. Maybe, if it's working. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'll try another day, because I always do enjoy getting to talk to you guys. But anyways, thanks for joining, guys. It's my 100 video and 3 billion views celebration, and I'm so excited that I got to spend it with all of you fun people, because I really miss getting to meet you at meet and greets. I really miss getting to see you on the road. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love and the kindness and the joy that you've shared with me and that you've brought me. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the 100 video. I had spent way too long working on it. I mean, I spent like days editing it. So anyways, love you guys. Talk to you soon.